Hello, welcome to Rear Facing Toddlers. Now, as you may be aware, anybody can start a petition on any subject that they're passionate about for the government to respond to be considered for a change in the law. Now, the petition will normally run for 6 months, and if in that time it gets more than 10,000 signatures, the government will actually respond. This is Katy, and Katy started a petition about 7 months or so ago. It's just ended, so about 6-7 months ago now. And I actually had no idea that I was going to be bumping into Katy this week, but we both happened to be at the same event, car seat related, but I didn't know that she was going to be here, but I just thought I'd take the opportunity to have a chat with her about her petition. So would you like to explain what the petition was about?
Yes, of course. So the petition I put together was proposing about the law on car seats. So I wanted to change the law to enforce that children should be rear facing until they are 18 kilograms, 105 centimetres or 4 years old.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the petition did actually reach 11,747 signatures when it closed a couple of weeks ago, which means the government has responded. And I was one of the people who signed the signature, so I got an email from the government explaining their response. So I'm not going to read the whole email because it was quite long, but I've just picked out a few bits that I thought were quite important to discuss. It starts with, the law requires children up to 135 centimetres in height or 12 years old, whichever comes first, to travel in a child restraint system approved to either United Nations Regulations 44 or 129. The government's expert group, here it comes, decided against mandating rear-facing restraint systems for children up to 4 years old. They go on to say, R129, so that's the newer regulation, was developed more recently to supersede R44. This regulation introduces enhanced requirements for child protection, including use of more advanced dummies for dynamic assessment, enhanced side impact protection, and a requirement for seats approved for use by children younger than 15 months to be rear-facing. Okay? And then, and this is what gets me, it goes on to say, would you like to read this bit, Katy? Go on.
So, while a rear-facing child restraint system is likely to offer better levels of protection than its forward-facing equivalent, they are usually larger and often more difficult to install, particularly in smaller vehicles commonly found in the UK and many other countries. This means they are more likely to be fitted or used incorrectly and therefore pose a greater risk of injury.
Right. Now, as somebody who's been working with and trying to get people to rear face for about the last 11 years now, this is just the same old, same old. This is what we seem to have been battling forever. Slowly but surely things are changing, but the government just doesn't seem to be on board with it, which is, to my mind, very disappointing.
Really disappointing.
Really disappointing.
Yeah.
There are a few things that I would just like to pick up on here. They say, while a rear-facing child restraint system is likely to offer better levels of protection, blah, 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 all the reasons that we know are nonsense. And then they say they are more likely to be used incorrectly and therefore pose a greater risk of injury. So their argument for using them incorrectly is, let me just have a look. They are usually larger, not true. They're often difficult to install, not true. Particularly in smaller vehicles, which are commonly found in the UK and many other countries. So I don't know where they think this country is, where they have really big vehicles that specifically are made for these seats that none of us know about. Not true. And it also says it means that they are more likely to be fitted incorrectly and therefore pose a greater risk of injury. So would you like to respond to a few of these points?
Well, yeah, of course, the first thing is the proposal was for up to 18 kilograms.
Yes.
Now, I know that the perception sometimes is, the extended rear-facing seats can be bigger.
Yeah.
You have your tethers and things like that. But actually, an 18 kilogram rear-facing seat can be bought from a high street store.
Absolutely.
Where they are trained to fit the seat for you, show you how the seat's fitted and how to put your child in that seat.
Yes.
So when they say about them being bigger, larger, for smaller vehicles, I just think it's outdated.
Yeah. So I don't understand how they can say that they're difficult to fit, they don't fit in cars, blah, 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 when they already exist in all of our high street shops.
They do.
It makes no sense whatsoever. So I'm just going to scroll on my laptop to see what else it said. So the email goes on to say, the safety of children travelling in vehicles is a complex issue and affected by a range of factors, including child development, ease of use and misuse, cost, vehicle design and regulatory requirements. Some manufacturers offer seats in the UK that are approved to be used rearward facing with old or larger children up to approximately 4 years of age. Actually, I'm just going to butt in there. There are plenty of seats available up to 6 or 7 years of age.
Yeah.
How the government don't know they exist, I'm not sure. Anyway, and those responsible for the transport of children can consider the relative benefits of using these products alongside the broad range of other factors that might influence their purchasing decision. Okay, I know what I want to say about that, but let's see what Katy has to say.
Well, first of all, I just want to pick out the cost aspect.
Yeah.
Because, as we both know, there are a range of seats out there, and they all cost different prices.
Absolutely.
But just going back to the point of it being 18 kilograms, these seats aren't too expensive. This is your child's life.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But also, a lot of these seats are being used in a forward-facing position, so they can actually rear-face.
They can.
But people are turning them round too early, and it's much
Because
safer.
they're not
to keep
made
them.
aware often by the stores.
Yeah.
Because they're marketed as being from 15 months or 76 centimetres, which is roughly the same age, people think that it's a personal choice. People think, well, I've got a car seat here, it can either rear face or forward face. Oh, I think I like forward facing better. Nobody tells them properly the risks involved with that. As soon as you turn that seat forward, you're increasing your child's risk of injury or worse 5 times, 500%. And these seats can rear face. So to us, it's just ludicrous that more time isn't spent on explaining to people, and it needs to come from government, because people will be like, well, you know, they wouldn't sell them if they weren't safe.
Yeah.
But they do, and it's because there needs to be a much bigger change and much more awareness. I just wanted to pick up on a few other things. So it says the choice of car seat is basically affected by a range of factors which include child development. Child development means their skeleton is not ready for forward facing at 15 months. Barely ready at 4 years. Really, they should rear face to 6 years. So if they want to take that into account, they need to rear face. Ease of misuse, ease of use or misuse, it says. A car seat's a car seat. See, I always think, a lot of people say, oh, rear-facing car seats are really difficult to install. Forward-facing ones are much easier. My argument is, I mean, I'm old enough to have adult children, and I remember forward-facing car seats and how to install them. And rear-facing car seats, yeah, they're different, but they're no harder. If you have your first child, you've never seen one of those old forward-facing car seats. So you've got nothing to compare them with and decide that they're harder to install. Makes no sense. Cost? Well, as we've already said, you can buy car seats in a variety of prices. Some start as low as about, I don't know, 90, 100 pounds. Right up to, if you want to spend 500, 600, go ahead. But you can buy a rear-facing car seat up to 4 years old, roughly 105 centimetres, around about £100. So that isn't an issue either. Then you've got vehicle design and regulatory requirements. Now, regulatory requirements, as we've already said, don't go far enough. Vehicle design, a lot of people argue that cars are not big enough for rear-facing car seats. And we know that they easily fit even in the smallest of cars. So, and what a lot of people will say is, oh, a rear-facing car seat doesn't fit, I need a forward-facing one. And they don't realise that actually a forward-facing seat needs a lot more room than a rear-facing seat does to protect the child's head when they fly forward in a crash. So, yes, all in all, I think it's quite disappointing. But we will keep at it.
Yes,
we
definitely.
will keep slogging away on our Facebook groups and Instagram and YouTube and everything else, just to try to get the word out there of how important rear facing is, that it's not a personal choice, it's not parental preference, it's going to save your child's life in a crash.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Margaret.
So, yeah, you're very, very welcome. And thank you for running that petition. Well done.
Thank you.
And, hopefully it'll be a small step towards what eventually will be the norm.
Yes. Fingers
Sadly,
crossed.
it's going to be a while, I think. But yeah, all right. Thanks very much. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
watching.
Bye.
Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.